Hello. So I can't, for some reason, I can't see participants in here. I can't see who is in here. So if you come in, let me know you're here because we're going to start in about 5 minutes. Hey, Mary. This is so bizarre. I've never done this before. I teach classes, so I teach students, so I'm kind of used to doing this, but I've never done a Facebook Live before. So we'll see how it goes. Welcome to my bedroom. This is my office in my bedroom. I wish that there was a way to have everybody chat. I like talking to each other, but I think that would probably get crazy. But I don't know how that all works. So, oh, thank you, Debbie. Welcome. I'm really excited about doing this. Well, we'll talk more about it in a little bit, but I'm excited about just an opportunity to kind of do more, just kind of one-on-one, even though it's not one-on-one. So that's good. Hi, Karen. Welcome. Welcome. I wish that I would see, like, when I teach my classes, I have like an attendee list so I can see who is actually in the classroom or when students actually show up for class, which they are supposed to all the time. I can see when you chat, but I can't see you. Like, I can't see video of you. It would be cool if I could. And I didn't know how many people, that's Milo right there. I don't know how many people are going to show up. And I know that Zoom is really restricted to the number of attendees you can have in a free Zoom class. Like, I don't pay for Zoom. So that would be a way that we could do. As far as like that, I know that there are a lot of great YouTubers out there. There's a few that I really love to watch myself. But a lot of them have been around for a long time. And one of my favorites is Gingham Girl, Melissa Slater, I think her last name is. She is super good. And she actually did a video talking about not hacking fuelings. She does do some fueling hacks, but for the most part, she's really good. So she's another one to look for, Gingham Girl. She's great. She's a coach in Texas. So we get a couple minutes. Hopefully, I saw that a lot of people said they were going to come. So I'm hoping that a lot of people show up. But if it's just the 6 of us, then that will be fine. How did everybody do today? Did everybody have weigh-in day today? It's usually Monday's usually weigh-in day for most people. You don't have to tell me how you did. I'm just curious. I am a coach, yes. By choice, I have just 2 clients. And that is just a choice that I have made, but I do. One of my clients is supposed to be here, so we'll see if she comes in. So doctor appointments, yeah. So Wednesday is your weigh-in day. Thank you, Cindy. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's quite a challenge. Let me see. Hang on just a second. Somebody messaging me on YouTube, on Facebook, trying to find. I don't know if I can send her the link to my channel. Let me see. I wonder if I send her this link. If that works. I don't know. Were any of you caught up in that whole the whole Facebook group texting message nightmare? I feel so terrible about that. I didn't realize that when I created an event, I was like just trying to find a way to remind people about tonight and create an event, and it sent everybody in the Optavia newbies group a text message or some kind of a message. I don't know. But it was like, and everybody was like, remove me, remove me, remove me. And I was like, I can't remove all of these people. And I didn't know what happened. And I was trying to figure out how to get rid of this, how to stop it. I had to delete the event and I had to do all kinds of crazy things. So anyway, that I am an on-time girl. So I'm going to go ahead and start and hope that people just come strolling in. That is very true. It is not easy. It is hard. It is really hard work, but it's really rewarding. I don't know how far you are in your journey. For me, this is, I've bypassed 10 months. I was talking to my coach this morning because, when you've been on the program for a long time, I'm not like tired of it. I'm not frustrated by it. But what I am now is way past that halfway point, and I'm in that I'm in the last third of this journey. And a lot of times it's where you kind of have a little bit of weariness when it comes to following the program. And we're going to visit our daughter in June, and I'm thinking, I won't be at my goal by then. And I'm trying to think, do I want to stay the course, stay on 5 and 1? Do I want to do 4 and 2 for that week while I'm gone? Do I want to try to do 3 and 3 for that week while I'm gone? Is that a hindrance to my integrity where I've said, you can follow 5 and 1 no matter what, you can do it? And, she kind of said, you really can't. She said, with you being that close to my next goal of hitting 125 pounds lost, she said I would just stick to the 5 and 1. So I probably am going to do that. It's just really tough. It's hard. And there's a part of me that's just so tired of this, but I am persevering. I think I will hit my goal by October, which means well over a year on program. But it is what it is, and it'll be worth it all in the end. So hopefully you guys have, does everybody have a copy of the Life Book? And if you feel like sharing this, tell me, if you have the Life Book, tell me, how far are you into reading your Life Book? Just started it today. Okay, good. And the good thing is it Jill? The good thing is that what I'm going to talk about today is kind of going over that first element. And then I'm going to give all of us 2 weeks to go through element 1. That's just going to be our focus for the next 2 weeks. If you're in the Optavia newbies group, and if you're not, feel free to join. Just go through and request membership, answer all the questions, agree to the rules, and you can get into that group, because I probably will just be doing questions throughout the next 2 weeks. Yeah, and so just in like the interest of full disclosure here, I've been on program for 45 weeks, right? I'm starting week 46 today. I have finished element 3. But I have read a lot of the Habits of Health, and that's really more how my brain works. So the Life Book is really a self-help, journal-based workbook, kind of just work you through the process. And the Habits of Health is more science-based, and it's more lots of information. The 2 books work really great side by side. As a matter of fact, I'm going to talk back and forth between the 2 books. And if you don't have Habits of Health, if you're a reader, if you like to read, if you like to gather information, if you really want to know more about the science behind the program, why things work the way that they do, Habits of Health is a great book to have. And it's not as thick as the Life Book. So this is Habits of Health. This is the Life Book. So Life Book is a little bit thicker. But it is so cram-packed with information. I bought both of mine on Amazon. I would recommend, if you're going to get a used copy, that you get the current edition. So this is the cover of the current Habits of Health. And it really is, if that's the way you learn best, that would be my recommendation. The Life Book is awesome, but it's not as inspirational for me, but I am making a commitment to work through it. So one thing about the Life Book is that it is very journal heavy. If you like to journal, if you really like things like self-reflection, it really does keep your brain active in thought. So like when I teach my students, I try to get them engaged in answering questions, participating in things. And the reason why I do that is because it keeps your mind active and it keeps you focused. And that's kind of the similar thing with the Life Book, is it's asking you lots of questions. You're filling out lots of things. And it does that for the purpose just to keep you actively engaged in the thought process and to help to make it personal. It really will help you if you are making that commitment to changing your mindset. So it's not just a diet, and we'll talk about this a lot. Optavia is not just a diet. It is a diet, but it's not just a diet. And you have to make that commitment to change your mindset, to realize that there's more to getting healthy than just losing weight. One thing that I love about participating in Facebook, creating YouTube videos, is that it is creating a community for me. Like, you guys have no idea, maybe you do, but how important it is for me in this particular journey to have people who are supportive and who are cheering me on, even in just small ways. I mean, having you guys show up and come to this is like major food for my soul. It's just like, okay, people do care. People do not care about me, but people do care about this process. People want to learn, and people are willing to give up their time to come and share some time with me and listen to what I have to say. I am by no means an expert. I am the same as you guys. I am just a person, a mom, a wife, a grandmother, a woman who wants to be healthy and who is just fed up with the way my life was going, the way the scale was going up, and I was done. I was just not going to do it anymore. And it was either find a program that works one last time or be fat for the rest of my life. I was just at that place. And I think you guys can all relate. Hey, welcome, Emily, right? And anybody else who has come in, just say hey in there so I kind of know who's here. I'm excited to see you guys all here. Good. And hi, Danielle. Nice to meet you. Welcome. Just working as a community, holding each other accountable, that is one thing that's really going to help your progress, is finding that community, finding those people who are going to support you. Hi, Melissa. Welcome. One thing that is great about the Life Book is that it's very small, easy to accomplish, little steps that you can take, and you can do a page a day and get through it. It'll take you a while to get through it. But if you do a page a day, that's 365 pages, and that's going to put you, well into, I have my computer glasses on, not my reading glasses. That's going to put you well into element 18 at least. And that's counting all of the beginning pages. So there you go. There's no excuse. Hi, Bonnie. Welcome. So there's no time like the present to start, right? As I said, I'm on day 316, and I've only done 3 elements. So this is kind of like my little confession here, but that's about to change. I am committing to working through. Hi, Annette, welcome. And Lorraine, hi, Lorraine. I met Lorraine in person. We had a lovely dinner together. She is a wonderful person, and I'm so excited to see you here. And yeah, if you ever get a chance to meet up with somebody who's going through this program, it really is helpful just to meet somebody that you've never met before and find a sister that you can love on and who can love on you. There's nothing like it. Like I said, I'm going to reference Habits of Health several times throughout. So I know not a lot of you may not have. Don't feel guilty. So there's no guilt, there's no shame. And that's why I said right off the top, hey, I am 316 days in and I'm only on element 3. So what does that tell you? I hardly ever look at that Life Book, and that I want that to change. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this, was to find a way to hold me accountable to actually work through that book, because there's good stuff in there. I just want to provide you with the most education I can. At the very beginning of the Life Book, he talks, and I don't know how much he talks about in there, but I'm sure you guys have all seen that illustration where they have the glass cylinder, and then there's a container of rocks, a container of pebbles, a container of sand, and a container of water. And if you put the water in first, and then you put in the sand, and then you put in the pebbles, you won't get the rocks in there. But if you start with the rocks, if you start with those big things, and then you add the smaller things, and then you add the even smaller things, and then finally fill it with water, you can get all of those things in there. And he kind of talks about the difference between macro habits and micro habits. And the macro habits are those big things that we want to change. In the Habits of Health book, I'm going to tell you what they are. It's on page 65. And I gotta swap glasses. If I don't wear these glasses, then I can't see the computer screen. And if I don't wear these glasses, then I can't read. All right. So the first one is the first habit of health is the first macro habit is healthy weight management. So that's kind of what we are all basically here for. About 2/3 of us want to lose weight, and probably more than 2/3. Healthy eating and hydration. So that actually is a separate thing from weight management. So our weight management is different from what we eat and drink. Seems bizarre, but that's true. Habits of healthy motion. And that usually comes after you've started the weight loss portion. Healthy sleep and energy management. Habits of a healthy mind. And habits of healthy surroundings. So those are the macro units, what they call macro habits that all of these smaller things kind of work into or fit into. You then use the life book to work through those micro habits, which are like those little baby steps. And they help you to walk through and build up to those macro habits just in little small increments at a comfortable pace. When you're working through the life book, I want to encourage you to work at a comfortable pace. Don't feel like you have to sit down and read the whole chapter in a day. If you would just read a page or two in a day, and take some time to pause and reflect, meditate on what you're reading, really try to absorb what you're reading as you go along. Take the time to write. We were always taught not to write in our books, but this book, and actually either one of those books, you really need to write in them. You have a highlighter, have colored pencils, have sticky notes, whatever, to mark those things that really stand out at you. And then what I would encourage you to do is each day before you read, just go back and review through those things that you flagged, that, a few pages before, just refresh your mind of those things. Just the more you can think on them, the more you begin to internalize them. One thing that I do, I teach writing, and I teach high school students writing. And one thing that they have with each of their assignments is a checklist, a rubric that has all of the requirements of the assignment on there. And students are encouraged to check those off. And the reason why we do that, and the reason why for those of you who are list makers, your list makers are happier people than non-list makers. That's my theory anyway, because when you cross things off of a list, did you know that it releases serotonin, which is the chemical that your brain makes that makes you feel good, right? Who doesn't want to feel good? And so having that book where you're filling things out, and I think it kind of works the same way. If you would go through and answer those questions and fill those things out, you'll feel so much better about your progress as you go along. I would also encourage you at the beginning of the life book, I'm pretty sure it's pages 26 through 35. At the very beginning of the life book, it's before the first element, there's a little health assessment that talks about your physical health, your emotional health, your financial health, all of those things. It's lots of really personal questions. And the more you really are honest with yourself, I think the more successful you'll be on the program. So I would really encourage you to go through that and answer those questions, get yourself set up for a positive move in the right direction. So let's talk about element number one. Element number one, you could meet people for whatever you want to. I met Lorraine and we had dinner together. If you go out for drinks, you want to make sure you're doing like club soda and lime, something, and not really drinks, because that would not be good while you're on the 5-in-1. And if you don't, you guys all have seen me or heard me or read my Facebook post. I'm a stickler, for me, for following the 5-in-1 exactly as it is written. I do not like to step off of the plan at all ever, and have not in 316 days. However, I have grace and understanding for other people, because I realize we don't all walk the same path and we can't all do things the same way. But I will never encourage somebody to do something that is not on the 5-in-1. All right. So the first thing for element number one is being clear with yourself about why are you doing Optavia? Why are you on this particular program? Why did you come here? Our bodies, first of all, were designed to forage for food. They were designed to go out and find the food that they need to survive, right? And that process of going out in the woods, in the fields, in the wherever, in the mountains, in the deserts to find the food expends a lot of energy. And therefore, our ancestors who were foragers, who were finders, who were hunters, who were gatherers, expended a lot of energy. And when they would find food, they would eat what they found right away, because who knows when they were going to find more again. And then they were off to expend more energy. And they didn't have weight issues. And if you think about now, we don't have to go out. We don't have to expend any energy. We don't have to expend any energy to find food, right? We can hop in the car. Some of us who live in well-populated areas don't even have to hop in the car. We just have to pick up the phone and call DoorDash and have food delivered, right? Already cooked, already prepared, like zero energy expended, 20 calories maybe for all of that, walk into the door and back to eat that food. And it's no wonder that our society is where it is as far as obesity, because we are not active the way that our ancestors were. And so we have to adapt to the current situation that we are in. And that's individually. If you are a farmer, then obviously you are out working and probably expending a lot of energy. But if you are like me and you work from home, or you have a desk job and you're sitting around all day, you're not spending a whole lot of energy. And if you continue to consume 2,000, 3,000 or more calories in a day, your body's not burning that. That food has to go somewhere, and it just turns to fat. And that's really sad. I listened to a podcast that my sister sent me, that was on, I think it was probably on NPR or something. Maybe it was just a podcast. And it was a woman who is a obesity specialist. She graduated from Harvard, and she's done several studies about obesity and the obesity drugs. So the drugs that are also used for type 2 diabetes, they're also giving to people to help them to lose weight. And one of the things that she said that just I never really realized how true this was, that obesity is a disease. Like, I have a disease, and diseases are things that we can't just make them go away. We can't wish them away. You can't just change your lifestyle and the problem goes away. So it doesn't matter how much weight I lose. I always have this disease, and I'm going to have to work for the rest of my life to keep the weight off. It's a little discouraging, but it's also encouraging, because now I have a plan. Now I have a system in place that can help me. So anyway, that's what I was going to say about that. Talking about the why, one thing that he does say in that first chapter, and you'll read that, is that we can't rely on what other people want for us. That is external motivation, and it will never work. External motivation of your significant other, your family, your friends, your doctors, right? If you are on this program because somebody else told you needed to lose weight, somebody else expects you to lose weight, then you are giving away your power. So the power to lose weight, the power to get healthy, you have just given that to somebody else. And we don't want to do that. Don't do this because somebody else wants you to do it. You need to find the reason, find the why inside yourself. And he gives a lot of really good ideas and helps for this, but I did want to in the Habits of Health book on page 75 is another thing which I really loved. And he refers to it in the life book is the readiness factor. So there are stages. The first stage of the readiness factor is I'm not ready to change, right? I won't change. I can't change. I've tried this before and failed. A lot of us have been there, and hopefully once you get to this stage, you have realized that you can do this wherever you are right now. But that is the first stage. And if you're in that stage, you're not going to do well in the program. If you had the mindset that you can't do this, it's not going to work. You have to move beyond that. And the next stage is I'm thinking about making a change to my health. And that's a great stage to be at. That's where you start to look at what are the benefits versus the effort. So what am I going to gain out of this and how much effort am I going to have to put into it? The pros have to outweigh the cons. And you have to think about what are the long-term benefits as well as what are the immediate benefits. So, when we think about the 5-in-1 program, I believe that the pros far outweigh the cons, that there's very little effort for the most part. The fuel, 5 of the fuelings are basically done for you. I mean, if you wanted to eat all bars and crunchers, God help your stomach if you do that. But, you can put very little effort into the program. You don't have to do a whole lot to eat the fuelings. Lean and greens, they can be very simple, as simple as throwing together a salad. I love to cook, so I don't do a lot of salads. I do make salads, and you've seen some of the ones I've done. But that effort for me has resulted in so many benefits that I continue to see those things happen. So a lot of you probably are in that I'm thinking of change. Most of us, though, are probably in the stage 3, which is I'm preparing to make a change. That's when you start thinking about your motivations, which is the first element. What is the process? And what are the power of habits? Like our habits that we have so much power over us. And we have to think about what are the ones that I have to let go of? What are the ones that not just I need new habits, but I need to find a way to erase, to get rid of, to take the power away from those old habits that are weighing, no pun intended, me down, right? So that's where a lot of you are probably in that preparing to make a change. You're still trying to figure it all out. I am in action. I am creating and changing my habits. I'm creating my healthy well-being. I think that's probably where I am in that stage. I've kind of moved past the weighing everything else. This is kind of, I get this. I get how the program works. I know that it works. It's been successful for me. I wanted to read page 77, what it says about this, where it says, I'm in action. Glasses change. At stage 4, you're working on building new health behaviors and installing the habits of health in a series of small habits. You're refining your lifestyle to reach and support long-term health and well-being, as well as finding the balance between your daily motivation and your ability to consistently install the new habit. It's when you're remolding your environment, your relationships, and building your mental and physical strength to stay on track. The more modes of support we can surround you with, the easier and more consistently you can move along the path to transformation. So get involved in Facebook groups, get involved with any kind of community that you can. Look, that's why I created my YouTube channel. I needed community. I needed a way to reach people in a way that gave me feedback. right? So it purely very selfish of me, right? Very, very selfish of me to do this. But I knew going into this that because I had tried everything in the past, that all of those programs had failed. I had done every single one of them in the dark. Didn't tell people I was on Weight Watchers. Didn't tell people I was doing keto. Didn't tell people, like, I just didn't do them in public. I did them in the dark, and I failed. And I failed, and I failed, and I failed. And I thought, this is my last hope. What can I change? What can I do differently this time from what I did the last time? And that's where the YouTube channel came from. That's where the Facebook groups came from. It is my intentionally building a community and finding people to surround me and support me, and every week saying, this is how much I lost. I have not had I had 1 week that was a gain. And that was after a week of a really big loss. So I don't really look at that as a gain. I've had some really slow weight loss weeks. The week of having a gain is coming. I know it's going to happen. Keep waiting for it to happen, and it hasn't yet. It will, and I will still be honest, because I'm always going to be 100% upfront. This is the struggle that I'm having. This is the result of that struggle, and I think that is what you can do for your help, like for yourself. And I hope that a bunch of you create Facebook groups and YouTube pages, because you're trying to surround yourself with community, because I think that is so important. The next one is I'm sustaining this new positive behavior. That's basically transition and beyond. And then don't forget that you will have some forwards and backwards, lapses and relapses. That's just life, that we do those things. What you do need to find, instead of that outward motivation, you need to find that internal motivation, that what he calls autonomous motivation. That is what is sustainable. That is what is internal to you. That comes from inside you, and that is what is powerful. So don't give your power away by using external motivation. Retain that power, use that power, and seek those internal motivations that you have. Those are the things that you can maintain over a much longer period of time. It might be something that gives you a desire to share with other people, like through YouTube. We have a biological desire, and he says this in one of the books, I can't remember which one. He says, we have a biological desire to survive, to belong, to connect, and to make a difference. And I love that. Like, what are we going to do to promote our desire to survive? What are we going to do to promote our desire to connect and belong to people, to make a difference in somebody else's life, not just in our own, but in others as well? On page 78, I wanted to read also, this is also in Habits of Health. When we look deep inside ourselves and align our desires with our values, we are much more likely to create sustainable results. We have to look inside. So think about your why. Why do you want to change? Why are you choosing to follow a program like Optavia? If it is just to solve a problem that you have, if it is just to get out of an unwanted situation, then that change is not going to last. So if you say, I want to lose weight because I want to get off my blood pressure medication, okay, you'll probably lose weight and get off that blood pressure medication. But what's going to happen when you stop taking the medication? You're going to go back to your old habits, and you're going to go back to the medication. So we don't want to do that. We don't want to lose weight just to solve a problem or to get out of a negative situation, a problem. Old habits die hard, right? We want to get rid of that cycle of like having a conflict, finding a way to resolve that conflict, feeling the release when the conflict is gone, and then falling back into those old habits because they're so familiar. We have to find a way to completely change. So instead of solving for an existing problem, instead of being reactive to the problems that we have in our lives, instead be proactive, create a future success. So think about what you want down the road. What is it that is inspiring to you? What is it that is motivating to you? And that is the thing that you need to strive for. So it does talk on page 41 of the life book. What is important to you? What inspires you to be a better person? Tell me, what is it for you? For me, my granddaughter is probably one of my most inspirational things right now. And so she is a big part of my why, and I'll break that down in a minute. But tell me, what is it that inspires you to be better? What is it that inspires you to be a healthier version of you? I'd love to hear from some of you. I won't put anybody on the spot. I need a drink. Anybody? More energy? Good. That's great. No more physical pain? Good. When you think about being at your healthy weight, like your ultimate, your goal weight, when you think about yourself there, what is it that you picture yourself being able to do that you can't do right now? And while you're thinking about that, one of my very first, and it's in my life book written down, one of the very first things that I really wanted to do that I couldn't do when I started Optavia was and when I started, my granddaughter was 4 months old. I wanted to be able to sit on the floor and play with her. And it happened before her first birthday, but on her first birthday, and my profile picture on Facebook is me sitting on the floor playing with my granddaughter. That was one of my goals, which I, fortunately achieved before my goal weight. But being able to do something that I dreamed of being able to do, and not only could I sit on the floor and play with her, but I was able to get back up in a room full of people without making a big production of it. And most of you know what that's like, to try to get up off the floor when you're 200 pounds overweight. It's not a pretty picture. And being able to do that was amazing. Yeah, less knee pain so you can go for a walk. I like that. Play with your grandson. Yes. Feel that vibrancy, that energy, feeling happy with yourself, feeling like I just want to be proud of myself. Being able to shop for clothes in a store. Yep. That's also in my life book. One of my things is I'm really close, but I'm not quite there to be able to walk into any store and buy clothes. I'm really excited to be able to sit in an airline seat with no extender and travel. Yes, Mary, and that happened to me in October. So June, July, August, September. I'd been on for 4 months. I think I had lost maybe 50 pounds at that point. I probably lost about 50 pounds at that point. And I had to go out. I had to fly for the first time in a very long time. And I was very anxious about getting on the airplane because I was like, I don't know if I'm going to fit in the seat, and I don't want to have to ask for an extender. And I was able to buckle the seatbelt, and that felt good. Ride a roller coaster. Oh my goodness. I used to love roller coasters, and now they terrify me. Yeah, a sense of accomplishment. Isn't that nice? Hi, Antari. Welcome. Didn't see you when you came in before, so welcome to the group. It's yeah. So being thinking about when you can think about that activity that you want to be able to do that you can't do right now, that is a great place to start thinking about your why. Page 42 in the life book, back and forth. I also wanted to read something out of there for you. Oh, there is in there, just I'm going to really quickly read. He talks about why are you ready? And he gives a bunch of, it says, to get you started, here are some common reasons for change given by other people I've worked with who've made the same decision as you. Quick fixes. I'm done with quick fixes and want to create sustainable changes. My health is important. I'm ready to put my health and well-being first. How many of us, especially as women, as moms, we tend to put ourselves last? You know, we worry about how everybody else is feeling and a whole lot less about how we're feeling. Decision, I'm ready to get off the fence and go for it. More than weight loss, I want to create health and well-being, and I hope that is a desire of everybody. I'm ready to be in charge of my health. I want to focus on my overall health for my future and family. I know what to do now, and I want to actually do it. I'm ready to become more the best version of myself. And I think somebody said that here. I need to make a plan to make it a reality. Oh, we've got a plan. It works. I need to build my mindset. That's so important. And I want more. I want to move from where I am now and become healthier. And those are all amazing, amazing reasons. As you think about your why, as you work through this, I want you to really think very carefully and focus on what you want. So, not the negative situation that you want to get out of, but the positive, healthy situation that you want to get yourself into. And that's what you need to focus on. That's going to be that stronger why. That's going to be the thing that you can really hone in on, that you can zero in on. Think deeper also. So my initial why was for my granddaughter. But I've had several conversations with people about this, is how deep can you go in your why? So ask yourself, why do I want to do this? For my granddaughter. Why do I want to do it for my or for my health? That's usually a typical one. I want to do it for my health. Why do I want to do it for my health? So that I can live a long life. Well, why do you want to live a long life? So I can be around for my granddaughter. Well, why do you want to be around for your granddaughter? This is where it starts to get a little bit more personal. I want to be there for all of the memories. Why do I want to be there for all of those memories? Because my mother and father died when I was 22 and 24. And my parents did not get to create those memories with my children. And it was not, my mom had cancer. My dad really died of a broken heart. And that, seeing, like, missing out, knowing that my parents missed out on some wonderful memories with my children, right? And it wasn't their fault. It wasn't, but my health is something that I can control right now. I don't have cancer. I don't have heart disease. I don't have diabetes. Somehow, God miraculously spared me from having any health issues. I'm not on any medications. I don't have joint issues. I just am, as I jokingly refer to myself all the time, as a healthy fat person. But I am in control right now, and I am going to do what I can so that I will be there for my grandchildren to experience those memories, to go to the zoo with them, to experience first dates and proms and weddings and great grandchildren. I'm going to do what I can to make sure that I am around. Quality time is a very important thing for me. And so I really want to focus on that. So I want to anything that anybody else wants to pitch in, and then I'm going to give us kind of a couple of little assignments. I'm a teacher, but nothing's going to be graded, and you don't have to hand anything into me. But I just want to give you some goals, some things that you can work on for the next couple of weeks. But what else for those of you who have been through, or are there things that you have questions about that I might be able to answer? Again, I'm not a professional. I'm not a medical professional. I'm just one of you, but I've done this for a while. And if you've got questions, if you want to share something, I'd love to see that. If not, let me give you a little bit of do I ever want to give up? Yeah. There are definitely those days that I'm just like, oh, do I have to do this for another, like when I look at, because losing 150 pounds is a big amount. It's a lot. And it was daunting at first. It's been so successful for me, and I honestly, I think that I'm an anomaly. I really do. I almost feel badly every time I post a reality check and say I've lost another 2 pounds, because I know people struggle. I know that there are people who are diligent and they drink their water and they eat their fuelings and they're struggling to lose. Now, do they have as much weight to lose as I do? I don't know. But I have to remind myself, Debbie, that this is a marathon. It is not a sprint. And it is going to be a long road. I already know it's going to take me more than a year. And I just have to keep going. And every week that I make a reality check, every time I do a Facebook post, it's just more motivation that I have to keep doing this. I have to keep doing this because it's working. And if I stop, then I'm giving up on myself. And I am a Yankee, and I am as stubborn as they come, and I am not going to give up. I'm not going to give up because it's working. Now, if I was really struggling, it would be probably harder to not give up. But I also have an amazing coach, and I have amazing friends like you guys, amazing family, my husband, my children. The support system that I have has been so incredibly helpful to me, and I know that I have that because I'm telling people what I'm doing, and because of that, people are open and talk to me. So I was at church last week and talking to a girl, and she was asking me very personal questions, but I think she felt like she could, and I was okay with that because I am so open, and how important that is. What do I do with that little voice that says it's too late? I had that voice. I actually listened to that voice for a while, and and I did give up. And I was just like, the last thing that I did Weight Watchers. And this was a couple of years ago. And whenever I do a program, I say, you know, I'm going to give it 6 weeks. And I lasted for 6 weeks. I lost weight for the first 2 weeks, and then the remaining 4 weeks, I lost nothing, absolutely nothing. And I was like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I guess I'm just never going to be able to lose weight. And I did give up. And then a friend told me about Optavia. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I can do one more. But it sounded like, all right, I just thought I would give it a try. And it's very easy to give up. It's very hard to do the hard work. And like somebody said at the very beginning, if losing weight was easy, we'd all be thin, right? So when you're feeling like that voice is saying it's too late, that's when you need to reach out to your coach, reach out to me, reach out to friends that are supportive. Find somebody who can just put their arm through yours and say, come on, we're going to do this, and we're not going to give up. It is not too late. You can do this, and there are people out there, and I am one of them. I promise you, if you reach out to me, and a lot of you have, through Facebook Messenger, you've messaged me, you've emailed me, my contact information is at the bottom of every single one of the videos, description boxes of my videos. I have people who email me, and I answer every single person who emails me. And if you need somebody to call you, if you need somebody to hold your hand, I will be that person for you. So please don't ever think that it's too late. This does work. And we just have to hang in, right? It always, Lorraine. Yes. Do I deal with excess skin? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Look at this. This is awful. And I won't show you my stomach because it's not pretty. And so I'm very chesty, if you haven't noticed. There's 4 girls in my family, and I am the only one with boobs. I don't know where they all came from. But I have so much loose skin in my breasts that when I take my bra off, I've had skin that's like folded over on itself in my bra. And so it's always sweaty, and it's no fun. But here's the deal with that. And I started taking collagen, and I started taking biotin for my nails because my nails have been super brittle. I have super thick hair, so I'm not worried about hair loss. But I have started taking collagen, so I'll let you know how that goes. I've been told really that the only real solution for all the excess skin is plastic surgery, and I don't know that I'm ready to spend $20,000. But we'll see in a couple years how I feel. It's just, you find clothes that, and we all carry our weight differently too. So it just kind of depends. You may need surgery to have it removed. It's possible that most plastic surgeons will say you need to be at your goal weight for at least a year before they will even consider it. And that should be the way that they are, because you need to maintain it. Otherwise, you're just going to put the weight back on. So, if you have to have that surgery, sometimes insurance will cover that. If there are medical issues, I would definitely say document if you get like the yeast infections, like under your breasts or like under your belly. Take photographic evidence of that, and go see your doctor. And the more medical evidence you have of these continuing issues would be helpful to possibly having insurance cover. I'm not an insurance person or a doctor, but that's just what I've been told. Tastiest way to prepare the butterscotch brownie. So that one's not my favorite. It tastes a little chemically to me, but what I did do was I combined it with the chocolate chip cookie, and then I made 2 separate fuelings that way. So that was good. I also mixed it with the chocolate shake. So this is what I did. I did a very similar thing tonight. I took the brownie, which most of you know is not my favorite fueling. I know. Again, I'm an anomaly. The brownie and the caramel macchiato shake. I combined those. Combined. I teach English. I combined those together with 6 tablespoons of water. Put them in 2 ramekins. Air fried them for 15 minutes at 375, and one of those will be my last fueling. So that's a great combination. And I would do the same thing with the butterscotch brownie. Is I would combine it with a shake, vanilla shake. The peanut butter shake would be really good with the butterscotch brownie, I bet. Chocolate would be good with the butterscotch brownie. So then you divide it into two, Jill. So I take my food scale. I mix the two, put the 2 fuelings in the bowl with the water, 6 tablespoons of water, and I mix it up. And then I put one of the ramekins on my scale, and I put about half of it in there, and it's going to weigh about 2.5 ounces. And then I do the rest, and I just kind of go back and forth until I have about the same amount in each one, that they both weigh the same thing, and then toss them in the air fryer or the oven. Either way, I don't have a microwave, so I don't ever microwave anything. And honestly, the texture, air frying it is amazing. So if you have an air fryer, try it. 375, 15 minutes. They are fluffy, and it is really, really good. The mini griddle, yep, that one, yeah, and it's a lot less, it's a lot easier to clean too, isn't it? Yeah, the chocolate bar to freeze. So you could do the butter. You probably could do the butterscotch brownie. I would probably do them like in maybe little dollops, or something small that's easy to pick up and eat. Because the bar was really messy because it just wanted to melt. So I think if you did, like I've seen people do like in those little the little tiny candy molds. I've got my hands down here. You can't see that. Like those little tiny candy molds might be good. No wheat, no nuts or soy. Wow. But you've done it. Look at that. Good for you, Bonnie. So you find what works and you're making it work for you. That's amazing. Anybody have anything else? This is fun throwing in a little Q&A at the end. Do you guys want to do this like in 2 weeks to go over? I didn't give you your little homework assignment. Over the next 2 weeks, let me tell you, over the next 2 weeks, read element 1 and fill it out. Be thoughtful, 1 page a day or so. Just remember how vital your mindset is. If all you want is a diet or a way to lose weight, you will probably do that on Optavia, but you will also probably gain all of the weight back. Why? Because you're not making life changes which require mind changes. So remember, mindset is so important. And then, so read through the chapter, answer the questions, and then create a little why poster, a why sign, a why board, or even just a sticky note. Put some thought into it. Make it colorful, make it something that you can see every day, or make several if you have multiple whys, and put them somewhere where you can see it. And then I want you to talk about what you're doing with people. Share it with your friends, share it with your family, build your community, surround yourself with like-minded people for support. And you got me in your corner. I promise I'm there for you. Creating Living in the Light was a total game changer for me. I just can't even imagine having done this program without that. And then when you come in 2 weeks, so we'll do this 2 weeks from today, we'll get back together again. We're going to go over element 2, but come in 2 weeks with one of these 3 things, or all 3 things. A quote from what you read, your why, and one thing that you did to develop community. So those all come from my little homework assignment for you. Come with something, pull something from the reading, have your why ready to share, or one thing that you did to develop community. Share this with your friends too. Let them know about this. If you've got other people that are on program, they can watch this because this will be posted on my YouTube page, so you can always watch it. Share it with your friends, let them watch it, and then hopefully next time we'll have twice as many people as we had today, which was great. All right. Thanks you guys so much. Look, we did this in an hour. I'm really excited. That was perfect. Was this good for everybody? Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully it was helpful. I know some people kind of came and left, and that's all right. I won't be offended that people came and left. But you guys are wonderful. Thanks so much. Oh, thank you, Cindy. There's Milo. He's stretching his butt back there. Moxie sometimes comes in, so you might see her sometimes too. All right. You guys have a great night. And I'll see you on Facebook or message me on YouTube. Live in the light, guys. Have a great day, a great week. Bye.